Hey everyone, so today I'll be replacing the engine air filter and the cabin air filter on a 2022 Honda CR-V equipped with the 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Now this is part of the 5th generation CR-V, model years 2017 to 2022. And I'll be utilizing the genuine Honda filters for this replacement. Now one thing worth noting is that all of the 5th generation CR-Vs utilize the same cabin air filter, so the filter and the process to change it is identical on all of those cars, but the engine air filter is different. The 2.4 liter, the 2 liter in the hybrid, and the 1.5 all utilize a different engine air filter. So just keep that in mind. And the process is different for all 3 models because they all have different airbox configurations. So let's go ahead and get started and replace these filters. All right, now let's start off with the engine air filter for the 1.5 liter engine. Once you get the hood open, the airbox is located on the driver's side of the engine compartment. Now this does not utilize spring clips like some of the airboxes do. You do need some basic hand tools to do this. This has 4 8mm bolts that it uses. So your main options are going to be either a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver, or what I like to use is a ratchet with an 8mm socket on it. So just go around all 4 corners and loosen them up. Again, 4 of them, 8mm. So while I'm in the process of taking this airbox apart, one thing I want to convey that most people are not aware of is that one thing that has become a big problem in the automotive industry is counterfeit auto parts. And it's not just things like filters, or it's not even the genuine parts from the manufacturer. Everything from filters to more complex parts like computer controlled parts or larger parts. Counterfeit parts are becoming a gigantic problem. And it's especially a problem online with big suppliers, places like eBay and Amazon. So you really want to make sure that you're getting anything for your vehicle from a trusted supplier that you know utilizes genuine parts. So you can also go to the dealer to get parts as well. Some dealers are actually pretty competitive and do offer their parts at pretty competitive prices. So I think I have all 4 of these loosened up now. The box should just pull straight up like that to take it off. So this is going to basically hold the box from coming up any further. And when you take the filter out, it should come out with no effort. Now, before I take this away, this sits in here like this. This is a locating tab. This black tab faces towards the front of the vehicle, and it will line up with this indent here. So that's how you know you have it oriented correctly. This should take no effort going in or out. These just sit in there. So if you have to force it, something's wrong, and stop right there. You see this is obviously very dirty. So we've pretty much used up its viable life. Now, one thing that most people skip when changing engine air filters, I see, is you really want to clean the inside, especially the bottom of the air filter housing, because when the engine is running, it's under vacuum, so it's pulling air in, but it's going to pull any debris in that's in the air. Larger things like leaves, you get usually some gravel in here. And also, if you live in a northern climate, it's very common for animals to make nests in air filter housings, because when you park the car, it's nice and warm, and this is a nice warm place for them to make a nest. So get your vacuum out, vacuum in here, make sure everything is nice and clean before you put the new filter in, because typically you go a few years before you change these out. Now again, this is the genuine Honda. There's the part number. I will put that in the description below as well for the 1.5 liter. So just like the old one, we have that locating tab here, and we are going to let this sit perfectly flat. It should literally just fall right into place. There we go. So there's that tab at the front. It's going to line up with this one, and it sits perfectly flush. Now we're going to take this box, the top half of the box, and push it down. Now these screws, or bolts rather, will not come out. They are retained by the top of the housing, so you don't have to worry about them falling out of place when you are doing this filter change. I like to use a Phillips head to get them started so I can feel the threads. You really don't want to use any sort of mechanical advantage when you're starting threads on a nut and a bolt, because it can be very easy to strip it because you really don't have a good feel for it. So I'll start it with this number 2 Phillips head. Once I see they start to run in, I can also feel it starting to grab the threads. Do all 4 corners, basically get them started, and I'll finish up with the ratchet. Now we're putting 2 plastic housings together with bolts, so we don't need a lot of tension here. So all 4 of them are started. I'll finish them up with the ratchet. Snug, very little torque. I will not use the leverage of this ratchet. I'll just hold on to the top of it to get snugged. And And that's all you need to do to get this closed up. Another thing I think worth mentioning, if you do a lot of your own automotive repairs and or maintenance, one thing you should get a set of work gloves. It's really worth it. Keeps your hands clean. There's a lot of sharp edges under the hoods of most cars, all these parts. You will start to beat your hands up, get scuffs and cuts on your hands. So using a set of work gloves is a good habit to get into when you're under the hood working on your car. So that's it. We're done. All four are tight. We have our new filter. It's oriented correctly. We vacuumed out the air box. So we're good to go until the next time we need to change out the engine air filter. So let's get started on the cabin air filter. Okay, and replacing the cabin air filter on the 5th generation Honda CR-V from 2017 to 2022. We have to get into the front passenger seat for this. And the first thing we have to do is open the glove box. Once you open the glove box, take out anything that's in the glove box because we're going to have to drop it down all the way and it's basically just going to fall out anyway. So just get it out of the way before we get started. On the side here, you have a little arm that is for the soft open feature for the glove box. We're going to take this little arm, we're going to push it downward. It might take a little bit of force to do it, but it basically has a little hook on the end there that grabs onto the box. So we push that up out of the way. Now to get the glove box down the rest of the way, on the very back here, we're going to squeeze the sides in and it will fall. You see you have a tab here and there's one on the opposite side. So when you squeeze the box in, they pull in just enough where you can access the cabin air filter. So this housing on the back houses the cabin air filter. Get it out, you have tabs on both sides of this door. We're going to squeeze them inward simultaneously and pull the cover straight out. One tab here, one tab here. Again, simultaneously squeeze them together and it pulls directly forward. Behind that, we have the cabin air filter, nice and dirty. These get dirty very quickly because whenever the HVAC in the car is running, heat, air conditioning, or the fan, this is pulling in air and it's pulling in debris. So pretty dirty. Like I said, they get dirty very quickly. And we're going to take our genuine Honda cabin air filter. Make sure we take the bag off of it. Don't forget to take the bag off. That's a common thing people do. Same thing with the engine air filter. Make sure you take it off. Airflow direction. Air always flows from top to bottom on these. This is oriented a little bit differently than the original factory one. So just like that, it will push straight into the box. It should take minimal effort. If you're encountering resistance, there's a problem. So it should sit almost completely flat to the housing. Now we're going to take the door for the cabin air filter housing. You see it says up right there. We're going to push it straight in. You'll hear both tabs click. Give it a gentle tug. Make sure both sides are locked in. We're locked in. We're done. The filter has been changed. So first thing we're going to do to get this thing buttoned up, we're going to push the glove box open without closing it all the way. Close it just enough where those two tabs grab. So essentially it's locked in place now, but it won't have that soft open feature. So we're going to take this with the little hook on the end and we're going to put it back into the glove box housing and we're going to pull it straight up now. You'll get a nice click like that, and then to test it, we're going to close the glove box. And now we have that nice feature. So the glove box is completely reset. The cabin air filter has been changed and we're ready to go for the next interval. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.